What's happening, guys? Dave here. I have another fragrance review ready for you guys. This is going to be my first review on a by Kilian fragrance. Actually, it's one that has not been reviewed that I could find on YouTube before, so it is, I guess, an exclusive. I don't particularly care, but I just want to review it, and this is by Kilian's A Taste of Heaven. As you can see, I don't have the actual bottle. I bought a 30 ml travel refill. I'll explain why later. Now, the year was 2007. Perfumer is Calice Becker. I believe it's hyphened as Sheev or something now. I think she got married, is my understanding. As far as notes, I couldn't find a specific note breakdown as far as top, mid, and base. But it has African orange flower, geranium, bergamot, wormwood, or otherwise known as absinthe, lavender, patchouli, oak moss, amber, vanilla, and tonka bean. As far as bottle sizes, the actual 50 ml bottle, like my Back to Black or Sweet Redemption bottle, is $2.25. There are refills, like the travel refill 30 ml was what I got, was $70. The 50 ml refill, I think it's $125. 100 ml is, I think, $230, something like that. And then there's a 30 ml travel set that comes with like a travel sprayer. That comes with the refill vials for $155, I believe. Yeah, $155, I think. You can also buy the travel sprayer thing separately, I think. Frankie said. As far as classification, this is an oriental fougere. To me, it's more of a lavender oriental. Immediately when I first tried this, I was reminded of another fragrance, which actually Will is the one that recommended that I try this, and because I like this, and this is Homme de Caron, or Homme de Caron by Caron. This is a very old fragrance. I believe it was released in the 40s or the 50s. I'd have to look exactly, but it's been around a long time. It reminded me immediately of that lavender and vanilla formula, which is pretty much what that fragrance is. This fragrance to me, though, is much more complex and modern than this old school scent. However, but it still does have the dominant lavender and vanilla to my nose. If you don't like vanilla, or if you don't like lavender, you're not going to like this. Now, as far as on top, I immediately get a complex mix of lavender and vanilla / tonka bean, but with a very warming quality. Frankie has smelled this, and he also owns it as well, and said fuzzy, and I agree. It almost like the texture of a wool sweater, but in the smell, if that makes sense. It's got like this kind of fuzzy, odd quality to it. I think that this may be coming from the absinthe mixed with the oak moss, geranium, and amber. The scent is very warming to me and also very sexy. When it does transition to the mid, but to be honest, it doesn't really change too much on my skin through the way. I still get the lavender and the vanilla with that fuzzy combo of the absinthe, oak moss, geranium. But I also pick up a bit of patchouli and amber, which adds even more warmth and deepness to it. This fragrance is very deep. I wouldn't say dark, but mysterious, sexy, and alluring to me. It does remind me a lot of the Caron, but much deeper, modernized, and sexier with much higher quality ingredients. The dry down and the mid are basically the same on my skin. The dry down is still that lavender vanilla vibe with the fuzziness combination I mentioned. The patchouli and amber are there in the background as well, kind of supporting it. This stuff is so blended so well that it is kind of hard to pick the notes apart besides of the absinthe, lavender, and vanilla. I'll say it again, this juice is sexy, deep, and mysterious, but it's also a throwback to more old school type of fragrance. I've heard it mentioned before, and it took me a while to get it, but it also reminds me of Bond No. 9's new Haarlem if you take the coffee and the maple syrup vibe out. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain that in comparison. I would say that this fragrance is best for whatever. It's very classy, but it can be worn for most occasions. As far as what women have said, this one actually gets me a lot of attention on my skin. Not my most complimented of all time, but it's definitely above average in terms of compliments. In comparison, I do get a lot more compliments with the Kilian than I do with this one. This one comes off more dated to most people, which makes sense because it is. Now, as far as the age, I would say this comes off fairly mature to me, so I'm going to actually say 25 and up. As far as number of sprays, I go 3. Kilians are quite potent. With this one, I avoid the front of the neck. Like right in here, I will do lower chest, and then 1 on each side of the neck with this one. But 3 max, it's pretty potent and it projects well. Now, as far as who would like this, if you like lavender, I think that's a must for this fragrance. Vanilla, absinthe, warm, creamy orientals, or the combination of good lavender and vanilla in a fragrance. Why would you not like this? If you're not a fan of lavender or vanilla, just avoid it. The dominant notes are lavender, 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 vanilla, absinthe, lavender, and the fuzzy combo. I probably should have added another vanilla in there, but you get it. There's a lot of lavender in here. As far as bottles, if you like the Homme de Caron, I can guarantee that you will like this. If you like Lancôme Hypnos, that also has a lot of lavender in it. And I'm going to say the Bond No. 9 New Haarlem comparison without the coffee or the maple syrup vibes in that one. As far as what do I think of when I wear this, basically take a big mixing bowl, throw in a buttload of lavender with a marinade that's made up of 3 parts vanilla, 2 parts absinthe, 1 part oak moss and geranium, and add just a dash of patchouli and amber, marinate that shit for like a week, come back and open it up and smell it. Or you can just take the coffee and syrup out of New Haarlem, or add much higher quality lavender and vanilla with some added complexity and modernize the Caron fragrance. Basically, that's a lot. That's a mouthful. Pick whichever one you want because they all work. Now, as far as overall smell, I'm going to give this an A-. I love this stuff and the smell is fantastic to me, but you do really need to like lavender in order to enjoy this fragrance, in my opinion. As far as projection, I'm actually going to give it an A-. It's pretty damn good on my skin. I get a solid 3 to 4 feet for the first 5 to 6 hours. It jumps out decently, but not like it's not a beast. It's the projection level that I like. I want attention, but I don't want to jump across the room. Unless I'm at a bar or something, but otherwise I don't want that kind of attention. As far as longevity, I'm going to give it a B+. I get a solid 7 to 10 hours a time every time, 100% of the time. It's good longevity. Uniqueness, it's a B- because of the comparison with the Caron, Homme, and New Haarlem. It's not all that unique, but it is done very, very well. Versatility, I'm going to give it an A-. It's actually pretty versatile to me. I would consider it a much more versatile New Haarlem because it's not quite gourmand. I think it can be pulled off on a cool summer day. I do believe it's best for fall, winter, and spring. It is very classy while still being versatile enough for casual use. When I wear it, though, I do feel like I need to be dressed up to wear it. It just kind of comes off classy to me. Now, my overall rating, I'm going to give it a B+. It is a damn good fragrance, but the price can be an issue unless you do what I did and get the travel refill for $70, and then use your own atomizer. That brings the cost way down. It's not super unique, but it's a beautifully blended fragrance from Kilian and one of my favorites from his line. I would say that this is a must-try, though. It's one of my favorite modernized versions of a baller classic fragrance. I would say that you should try the Caron first if you can't find a place to try the Kilian, because the Caron can be had pretty cheaply. I believe this is a 125 ml bottle. I think I paid $40 for it, maybe, if even that. It wasn't that much. It's not a particularly expensive fragrance, but I can pretty much guarantee if you like the Caron, you will pretty much love this. So that is my take on By Kilian's A Taste of Heaven, guys. As always, please rate, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.